Jumping straight into it, we're going to be using the Food Wishes pastry recipe to make our pastry for this quiche first. And that involves 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of unsalted butter, half a teaspoon of salt, 7 tablespoons of ice water, and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Check the comment section below for the exact quantities. You may be asking, why am I doing this in 2 batches? Well, the only reason is my food processor is too small to do 1 big batch of flour. So I'm doing it in 2, and now I'm off to the kneading races. When you're making the pie dough, you need to make sure that the butter is frozen before you chuck it in the food processor. You also need to make sure that you put the flour, water, salt, all the ingredients, and you blend them only to the point where it's coarse crumbs. Now that's all you need to do. You don't need to blend it much more than that, just so they're coarse crumbs. Chop up the onion and the leek in preparation for the quiche filling. Make sure you thoroughly wash out the leek, just because there's going to be a bit of dirt there. You wouldn't want to get a crunchy dish here. Quickly rattle off the ingredients. You need 8 slices of bacon, half a cup of chopped leeks, which you saw, half a cup of onion, which you just saw, some salt and pepper, cayenne pepper, 3 eggs, 2 yolks, 1 cup of heavy cream, 3/4 cups of milk, 1 tablespoon of chopped thyme, 6 ounces of shredded cheese. Now I've chucked the onion and the leek and the butter into the pan, just browning them in preparation for the other ingredients, mostly the egg ingredients. Now in full disclosure, I'm kind of remixing this recipe. I'm adding mushrooms, and that's not in the recipe, but I love mushrooms in anything that I cook, and especially I love mushrooms in quiche, so I'm adding that. Now I'm also adding a bit of pepper and salt just to taste. You just want to keep stirring and stirring so the ingredients get well mixed and not burnt. So once you've chopped the thyme up, you're going to add the heavy cream to the eggs that I've already prepped. So we've got some egg yolks and full eggs in there. We're adding some rosemary as well as the cayenne pepper, and making sure that's all mixed together really well. Now it's time for the filling. My favourite part of the meal prep, and that's bashing this poor piece of pie dough into the cylindrical shape, or the circle shape that will be that pie pan over in the top left hand side. Now you want to make sure that you roll it out to a size that's bigger than the pan that you're going to be using. I like to have a lot of crust hangover, so I definitely like to roll mine out quite large. Make sure you keep rolling evenly and making sure everything is on the same thickness. You want to be consistent. Also, make sure you chuck down a lot of flour, just because the pie dough will start to melt and stick onto the board that you're using. Carefully lift it up onto the pan that you're using, and then just crimp it lightly. What we're going to be doing now is blind baking this pie crust. Now that was some kidney beans that were dried that I picked up from the supermarket. I'm going to put some foil over the top of the pie crust, and we're going to put the beans in there. What we're going to do, we're going to set the oven on high for 180 degrees, then we're going to blind bake it. So put the pie crust in there for about 10 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to lightly bake that. Then we're going to take it out, as you can see here, and we're going to start filling it with the quiche filling. What I'm doing is putting a layer of the vegetable, putting a layer of the bacon, and then putting a layer of the cheese, putting a layer of the egg, and then repeating that process over and over. Be careful not to shake around the ingredients. You just want to get everything all even and really finely and nicely set. Off this goes to the oven for approximately 45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, and here it is. Here is the final product. I'm obviously going to have a taste test, because quiche is one of my favorite top 5 dishes of all time in the history of this universe. So here we go, let's try it now, and it tastes amazing. The cheese is all the way through evenly throughout the filling. The best part about this is definitely the pie crust. It is amazing, buttery, soft, flaky, everything you can imagine except for dry. It's definitely moist, and there you go. A couple of ending pictures here. Mwah! Very, very nice.